Felix sat alone in his dimly lit study, surrounded by the remnants of a marriage that had crumbled under the weight of neglect. He pondered the wreckage of his relationship with Vivian, his ex-wife, knowing that his relentless focus on work had played a significant role in their divorce. The clock on the wall ticked away, echoing the years lost to ambition. Staring at the wedding photo on his desk, Felix felt a surge of bitterness. Vivian's laughter in the picture mocked him, a haunting reminder of the happiness he had sacrificed for success. In that moment, a seed of resentment took root, and a plan began to form in Felix's mind. The next day, he attended a business event, and there he met Stella, a woman whose allure seemed perfect for his revenge scheme. Stella, with her striking beauty and air of sophistication, appeared to be the perfect antidote to the failure of his first marriage. Little did she know that she was about to become a pawn in Felix's game of retribution. As Felix and Stella engaged in small talk at the event, their conversation subtly shifted. Stella shared stories of her own failed relationships, and Felix found himself drawn to her vulnerability. It didn't take long for him to propose a hasty alliance masquerading as a whirlwind romance. Days later, sitting across from Stella in a dimly lit restaurant, Felix uttered the words that would change both their lives. "Marry me, Stella. Let's show the world how we've moved on from our pasts." The proposal, though sudden, appealed to Stella's desire for a fresh start. Over candlelight and clinking glasses, Felix and Stella sealed their pact. Unbeknownst to Stella, Felix's motivations were far from genuine. He sought to spite Vivian, to prove that he could move on swiftly and replace her with someone new. The chapter unfolded with the tension between Felix's hidden agenda and Stella's hopeful dreams. The threads of a complex web began to weave, setting the stage for a tale of revenge, deceit, and the unraveling of lives. Felix's plan was set in motion, and Stella became an unwitting participant in his scheme for revenge. The chapter opened with Felix and Stella's whirlwind romance escalating into a hasty marriage, orchestrated to showcase their supposed happiness. Felix reveled in the attention they received as a newly married couple. He introduced Stella to his social circles, portraying her as the glamorous and charming trophy wife he needed to project the image of a man who had moved on from his past. The facade, carefully constructed, drew envious glances and curious whispers. One evening, as they attended a high-profile charity event, Felix overheard a conversation that echoed his sentiments. A couple nearby gossiped about the rapidity of Felix's new marriage, unaware that their whispers were exactly what he desired. "I heard he divorced Vivian just a few months ago, and now he's parading this new woman around like a trophy," one guest remarked. Stella, however, remained oblivious to the underlying motivations. Felix, playing his part as the charming husband, guided her through the event, their smiles masking the true nature of their relationship. The evening was a parade of dazzling gowns, sparkling jewels, and the flash of cameras capturing the illusion they presented to the world. At home, in the lavish mansion Felix had chosen for their shared life, he outlined the rules he had envisioned for their marriage. "Stella, our public image is crucial. We must appear as the perfect couple at all times. You are the trophy wife, the centerpiece of our charade. Your role is to accompany me to events, smile for the cameras, and make our marriage seem flawless." Stella, initially enamored by the allure of a wealthy and exciting lifestyle, nodded in agreement. "I can do that, Felix. I want us to be happy." Little did she know that her daughter, Samantha, would become an unforeseen complication in the intricate web of Felix's revenge plan. The chapter closed with the uneasy tension of the facade, setting the stage for the unraveling complexities that would define their strained relationships in the chapters to come. The superficial facade that Felix had crafted began to crack, revealing the strained dynamics within his new marriage. Chapter 3 opened with Felix and Stella attending another glamorous event, their faces adorned with strained smiles as they navigated the sea of socialites. As Felix and Stella posed for photographs, a journalist approached them with a probing question. "Felix, you moved on so quickly from your previous marriage. What's the secret behind your whirlwind romance with Stella?" Felix replied with practiced charm, "Life is unpredictable, and sometimes you find what you're looking for when you least expect it. Stella has brought a new light into my life, and I'm grateful for that." Later that night, behind the closed doors of their opulent home, the cracks in the facade became more apparent. Felix, growing increasingly frustrated with Stella's lack of understanding, confronted her. "Stella, our image is everything. You need to act the part, smile, and engage with our guests. This is essential for our success in business and maintaining our social standing." Stella, feeling the pressure, responded with a hint of defiance. "Felix, I thought we got married because we cared for each other, not just for show." Felix, ever the manipulator, reassured her. "Of course, Stella, but we can't ignore the reality of our public life. We must maintain appearances for our own benefit." Simultaneously, Stella's teenage daughter, Samantha, added a layer of complexity to the strained relationships within the household. The chapter details Samantha's rebellion against the fabricated perfection a mother was desperately trying to maintain. One evening, as Felix returned home from work, he found Stella and Samantha immersed in a heated argument. Their voices echoed through the grand hallways, disrupting the illusion of a perfect family. Felix intervened, trying to play the peacemaker. "Enough, both of you. We can't afford any scenes like this. Samantha, you need to understand the importance of our public image." Samantha, with a rebellious glint in her eyes, retorted, "Why should I care about your fake image? This is not real, and you can't force us to be something we're not." The tension in the household escalated, setting the stage for further conflicts and revelations. Chapter 3 closed with a glimpse into the growing discord within the seemingly perfect facade that Felix had meticulously crafted. As Felix's grand plan to maintain a perfect facade began to unravel, Chapter 4 delved deeper into the mounting tension within the lavish mansion. The strains on the relationships between Felix, Stella, and Samantha intensified, creating visible cracks in the meticulously constructed image. One evening, as the family gathered for a supposed harmonious dinner, Felix's frustration reached a boiling point. "Stella, we can't keep living like this. Samantha's rebellious attitude is affecting our public image, and it's jeopardizing everything we've built." Stella, feeling torn between her daughter and the demands of her husband, replied, "Felix, she's just a teenager. She'll grow out of it. We can't force her to conform." Felix's eyes narrowed, and he retorted, "Our image is everything. If Samantha doesn't fall in line, we risk losing it all. I won't let that happen." The atmosphere in the mansion became increasingly charged. Samantha, sensing her mother's inner turmoil, confronted Felix. "You can't control everything, Mr. Perfect. This whole charade is ridiculous. I won't pretend to be someone I'm not." Felix, angered by Samantha's defiance, raised his voice. "This is not a joke, Samantha. We have a reputation to uphold. I won't tolerate any more of your rebellious nonsense." The tension escalated further when Felix discovered Stella and Samantha engaged in a heated argument about the direction of their lives. Stella, torn between her daughter and the man she had married on a whim, found herself at a crossroads. "Felix, I can't keep pretending. Samantha is my daughter, and I won't force her into this facade." Felix, feeling cornered, snapped, "This is your last chance, Stella. Either Samantha conforms to our way of life, or you both risk losing everything I've given you." The chapter concluded with the palpable cracks in the facade widening, leaving the characters on the precipice of a confrontation that would shape the course of their intertwined destinies. The luxurious mansion, once a symbol of opulence, echoed with the dissonance of a family struggling to maintain an illusion of perfection. Chapter 5 delves into the aftermath of the confrontations within the mansion, exposing the cold reality beneath the glossy exterior. Felix, Stella, and Samantha found themselves grappling with the consequences of their actions as the facade began to crumble irreversibly. The luxurious mansion, once filled with laughter and the illusion of happiness, now echoed with the silent tension that had seeped into every corner. Felix, reflecting on the choices that had led to this point, wandered through the empty rooms, realizing the emptiness of his grand plan. Stella, seeking solace, approached Felix, her voice laced with desperation. "Felix, we can't go on like this. Samantha, and I won't live a life dictated by an image that's not even real. It's tearing us apart." Felix, feeling the weight of the crumbling facade, responded with a bitter edge. "This is the life you signed up for, Stella. You can't just change your mind now. Our image is everything." Samantha, observing the strained conversation, interjected, "Well, I won't be part of your fake life any longer. I'd rather be true to myself and live a lie." As the family faced the cold reality of their fractured relationships, Felix, in a moment of reflection, began to question the worth of the empire he had built. The opulence around him felt hollow, and the once vibrant mansion seemed to close in on him. One evening, as they sat in the dimly lit living room, the air heavy with unspoken words, Felix confronted the undeniable truth. What have we become? Is this really the life we want to live? A life built on lies and appearances? Stella, tears welling in her eyes, admitted, "I thought I could adapt, Felix, but this isn't living. It's a suffocating charade, and I won't let it destroy us." The chapter concluded with the chilling acknowledgement that the facade, once carefully maintained, had crumbled beyond repair. Felix, Stella, and Samantha were left standing on the precipice of a new reality, one shaped not by the expectations of others, but by the cold truth of their own desires and the consequences of their choices. The aftermath of the shattered facade hung heavy in the air as Chapter 6 unfolded. The once grand mansion felt like a battleground where apologies and pleas were exchanged in an attempt to salvage what remained of their relationships. Felix, acknowledging the crumbling state of his constructed world, found himself torn between pride and a desire for reconciliation. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he approached Stella with a sincerity that had been absent from their interactions. "Stella, I never wanted things to come to this. Maybe I'd pushed too hard. Can we find a way back to each other?" Stella, nursing wounds of deception, responded with a mixture of sadness and defiance. "Felix, it's not that simple. We can't go back to the way things were. The foundation of our relationship was flawed from the beginning." Samantha, still resentful, but yearning for a semblance of normalcy, interjected, "Dad, you can't just sweep everything under the rug and pretend it never happened. We need to face the truth, even if it hurts." The family convened in the once pristine living room, now a backdrop for the unraveling drama. Emotions ran high as apologies were exchanged, each word carrying the weight of shattered illusions. Felix, addressing both Stella and Samantha, implored, "I know I've made mistakes. Let's find a way to move forward. We can redefine our lives without the need for pretense." Stella, grappling with conflicting emotions, replied, "Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. We need to rebuild, but this time on honesty and understanding." The chapter explored the delicate dance of forgiveness and acceptance. Each character faced the challenge of letting go of past grievances, while acknowledging the scars left by the facade they had lived. The air remained charged with tension, uncertainty, and a lingering hope that genuine connections could emerge from the wreckage of their once perfect lives. As they navigated the intricate path of apologies and pleas, the family stood at the crossroads of rebuilding or permanently severing the ties that bound them. Chapter 7 unfolded against a backdrop of escalating tension as the fragile truce within the mansion faced an unexpected threat. The echoes of false accusations reverberated through the opulent halls, threatening to dismantle the fragile peace that had tentatively settled over Felix, Stella, and Samantha. The chapter opened with a confrontation between Felix and Stella, the air thick with suspicion. Stella, harboring doubts about Felix's intentions, questioned, "What's your game, Felix? Is this another ploy to manipulate us?" Felix, wounded by the skepticism in Stella's eyes, responded with a touch of frustration. "I'm trying to make amends, Stella, but I can't do that if you refuse to believe in the sincerity of my efforts." Samantha, caught in the crossfire of her parents' strained relationship, added, "This whole situation is toxic. I won't let you manipulate us any longer, Dad." Amidst the familial turmoil, false accusations emerged from an unexpected source. Stella, feeling cornered and desperate, accused Felix of domestic violence in a heated argument. The accusation hung in the air, poisoning the atmosphere and casting a shadow over any progress they had made. Felix, shocked and indignant, vehemently denied the accusation. "Stella, this is going too far. I won't let you destroy me with lies. We need to find a way to resolve our issues without resorting to these tactics." The narrative then shifted to the external ramifications of Stella's accusation. The legal battle unfolded, portraying Felix as a man tormented by baseless allegations. His reputation hung in the balance as the courtroom drama intensified. The chapter concluded with a cliffhanger as the characters found themselves entangled in a web of deceit, betrayal, and legal complexities. The mansion, once a symbol of grandeur, now harbored the ghosts of false accusations that threatened to shatter the fragile peace the family had attempted to forge. As they grappled with the consequences of these accusations, the narrative hinted at the unraveling threads that would continue to haunt their lives in the chapters to come. The narrative in Chapter 8 took a dramatic turn as the relentless pursuit of truth unfolded. Felix, determined to clear his name, embarked on a quest to unravel the tangled web of false accusations that threatened to destroy him. The chapter commenced with Felix consulting with his legal team, mapping out a strategy to expose the falsehoods that had tarnished his reputation. In a tense meeting with his attorney, Felix voiced his determination. "I won't let Stella's lies define me. We need to find concrete evidence to prove my innocence." As investigations progressed, the plot took unexpected twists. Stella, wrestling with guilt and uncertainty, found herself at a crossroads. In a vulnerable moment, she confided in Felix, "I didn't expect things to escalate this far. But I'm scared, Felix. Scared of losing Samantha, of losing everything." Felix, torn between empathy and frustration, responded, "Stella, the truth needs to come out. We can't keep living under the weight of these false accusations. It's time to face the consequences of our actions." Simultaneously, Samantha, grappling with the revelation of her mother's deceit, confronted Stella. "How could you do this, Mom? I thought we were moving past the lies, but you've only made things worse." Stella, visibly shaken, offered a tearful apology. "Samantha, I never meant for it to go this far. I was just trying to protect us. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?" The narrative then shifted to the courtroom, where Felix, armed with compelling evidence, presented his case. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the truth began to emerge. Stella, burdened by guilt, struggled to maintain composure as the web of lies she had woven started to unravel. In a climactic moment, Felix's attorney, in a tone of triumph, declared, "The evidence speaks for itself. Felix is innocent, and these accusations are nothing more than a desperate attempt to tarnish his name." The chapter concluded with a sense of vindication for Felix, but the scars left by the false accusations lingered. As the characters grappled with the aftermath of the courtroom revelations, the narrative hinted at the complex emotions and strained relationships that would continue to shape their lives in the chapters to come. Chapter 9 unfolded against the backdrop of the courtroom, a battleground where Felix fought to reclaim his name and reputation. The air was charged with anticipation as the legal proceedings neared their climax, revealing the true nature of the accusations that had threatened to dismantle Felix's life. The chapter commenced with Felix, flanked by his legal team, facing the scrutiny of the courtroom. Stella, adorned with a facade of composure, sat on the opposing side, her eyes betraying a mix of guilt and apprehension. In a tense cross-examination, Felix's attorney pressed Stella, "Miss Thompson, can you explain the inconsistencies in your statements? It seems there are discrepancies that need clarification." Stella, squirming under the spotlight, stammered, I didn't mean for things to go this far. It spiraled out of control, and I panicked." Felix, his eyes reflecting a mix of disappointment and resolve, interjected, "Panicked or not, these false accusations have consequences, Stella. It's time to face the truth." As evidence was presented, the courtroom witnessed a pivotal moment when Felix's attorney unveiled a series of contradictions in Stella's narrative. The tension in the room escalated as the truth began to emerge, casting a spotlight on the lies that had threatened to destroy Felix's life. Samantha, seated in the gallery, watched with a mix of disbelief and anger. She turned to Stella and demanded, "How could you betray us like this, Mom? I trusted you." Stella, tears streaming down her face, struggled to find words. "Samantha, I never meant to hurt you. I thought I was protecting us, but I see now that I only made things worse." The courtroom drama reached its climax as Felix's attorney delivered a compelling closing statement. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence is clear. Felix Thompson is innocent of the charges brought against him. These false accusations have inflicted irreparable damage, and it is our hope that justice prevails." The chapter concluded with a moment of victory for Felix as the jury returned a verdict in his favor. The weight of false accusations began to lift, but the scars left by the courtroom battle ran deep. As Felix faced the aftermath of the legal triumph, the narrative hinted at the challenges that lay ahead in rebuilding not only his life, but also the fractured relationships within his once picture-perfect family. The final chapter, Redemption and Closure, provided a poignant conclusion to Felix's tumultuous journey as he grappled with the aftermath of the courtroom victory and sought to find a semblance of redemption and closure. The narrative opened with Felix, a mix of relief and wariness etched on his face, reflecting on the toll the legal battle had taken on his life. The mansion, once a symbol of opulence, now stood as a silent witness to the unraveling threads of a tumultuous past. As Felix attempted to piece together the fragments of his fractured family, he sat down with Stella and Samantha in the now somber living room. Stella, her eyes still haunted by guilt, initiated the conversation. "Felix, I don't expect you to forgive me easily, but I need to apologize. I let fear drive me to do terrible things." Felix, acknowledging the weight of the apology, responded with a mix of sternness and understanding. "Stella, the damage is done, but we have a choice moving forward. We can either let this tear us apart or find a way to rebuild." Samantha, torn between anger and a desire for healing, interjected, "Mom, you need to earn back our trust. This won't be easy." Stella, her voice trembling with sincerity, vowed, "I know, Samantha. I will do whatever it takes to make amends. I've learned the hard way that lies only lead to more pain." The narrative then shifted to Felix's efforts to repair his tarnished reputation. He faced the challenge of rebuilding not only his personal life, but also the professional relationships that had suffered in the wake of the false accusations. In a pivotal scene, Felix addressed his stakeholders, laying bare the truth of the accusations and expressing his gratitude for those who stood by him. "I won't deny the mistakes I've made, but I won't let them define me. I am committed to rebuilding, and I hope you can see the sincerity in my actions." The chapter reached its emotional peak with a scene of reconciliation. Felix, Stella, and Samantha, standing in the once grand foyer of the mansion, acknowledged the scars of the past and the potential for a new beginning. As they embraced the possibility of redemption and closure, The narrative closed with a sense of hope for the characters and their journey toward healing. Redemption and closure served as a poignant conclusion to Felix's story, illustrating the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity and the transformative power of truth and forgiveness.